Shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Shalom Kakwadash, the to the elder apostles at Great Millstone, and honors and salutations to you, Akim, this labor and in all truth, sincerity, Shalom, to you, few sisters that watch as well. This is a clip from the Fresh and Fit podcast, which I watch when I'm here at work. Pretty good podcast, in my opinion. One thing I like about them is they point out bad behavior, but between the women we deal with in today's society, which is really Esau society. And they basically point out the bad behavior that women display that are conducive to having a good or long-term relationship or marriage, if you will. So fair use. I'm only gonna play a little short snippet because this particular host on my left of my screen, his name Myron Gaines, and he makes great points about bad behavior in female or women, period. So without any further ado, I'm gonna play it, and Lord willing, it's edifying to you that may watch, and to you few sisters that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. If you don't apply, let it fly. But here you go.
In a good relationship, there are certain habits that my wife and eventually mother of my child is going to have a good relationship. Mm-hmm. I know that a two-parent household is critical to a child's development. Mm-hmm. So I need to protect my wife from her bad habits that Western society gives her. Dressing like a hoe, being promiscuous, not having accountability, etc. Because even though you guys might like listening to Cardi B and City Girls and all this other stuff, it's going to make you a horrible wife and, more importantly, a horrible mother. Okay? That music is not conducive.
Hey, man, and that was well said, too. Which, I think this guy is a Jake. He says his father is Sudanese, but he don't have the spirit of a, which the Sudanese people, they're part of the real original Egyptians. All right. I think he's a Jake, but that's another subject for another day or another time. But I want to grab something real quick and to bring out the point of what he said about, dressing like a whore, being promiscuous and shit, and clubbing. And you're going to get a lot of flack for saying things, the things he say, but everything he just mentioned in that small snippet of this video are very, very true to most women in this society, man. And I'm just going to say it just like that, man. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach, chapter 25. I'm going to start at 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Now you know right there that a woman is wicked by nature, man. And that goes all the way back to the garden, which you so-called black women, all right. You're Eve, man. All right. The first woman was a so-called black woman, man. All right, and today, they continuously want to lead men, and a lot of simps, a lot of beta males out there. They let them lead them, and then when they lead them to destruction. All right, the relationship is destroyed, marriage destroyed, children, if they have any, are destroyed because of him being led by her. You see? And that's the reason why when you look into the Adam and Eve example, it shows you why a woman is not made to lead. Because a woman can't follow ordinance unless they're forced to, if you will. And I mean forced to by, in the sense of not physical force, but hey, you got to lay down law. This is what's got to happen. This is what you have to do, period. All right. But continuing on, verse 25, it says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Yeah, man. Go in the club, hanging out, girls' night out, all that old BS. That's not good for a woman, man. If you have a woman, and I gotta keep it funky, man. Which same thing. I keep it 100. A lot of you jakes out there, a lot of you Israelite men, man. You a pussy, man. Yeah, I like my bitch to go out and girls night out. Go ahead, go look good, baby, have fun. And then when she's fucking Jerome, a couple doors down, or in the same apartment building as you, then you pissed off, wondering how could she? Why did she betray you in such manner? Well, it's simple. You don't give them liberty. Liberty means freedom to get abroad, man. What is wrong with you guys? They do that because women do that with those guys because those guys are afraid to lose them. And you shouldn't be afraid to lose them. You should be like, hey, you don't do what I say. Like the host on the Fresh and Fit podcast, he got the sound bar, and he got that rapper Future quote. She belongs to the streets. That's how you women get ghosted a lot. You belong to the streets, and the streets shall you return. You're not wife material. You're not even girlfriend material. You know, by a man letting women get abroad, he's giving her the leeway to commit adultery on him. You see, and the scriptures speak about an adulterous woman. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up this precept real quick. Matter of fact, let me finish this up real quick. Verse 25 back in Sirach real quick. It says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gather abroad. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh. Yeah, stop having sex with her, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Yeah, let her return to the streets. Because we're not getting our women in their pure stage. As far as them being virgins. When we get our women, they already been used up. So that's something to think about as well. Now, let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 30. It's a precept speak about adulterous women. Let's go up a little bit. I think that is the point. Proverbs 30 and 20 says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. Yeah, an adulterous woman, adulterous woman is a woman that sleeps around with men outside of her husband. You see? And in ancient times, uh, pre-American Empire, a woman that was found committing adultery would be put to death. All right, we were governing ourselves according to the Most High law. So an adulterous woman would be put to death. But a woman today, she can go outside her husband and sleep with as many men as she want, and they'll shame the guy. Oh, he's not doing his job. He weak. He ain't been a man. All kind of BS like that, making an excuse for her to commit adultery on that man. All right. I mean, it's crazy, man. How women are not held accountable for their wickedness, man. But men, if you do anything that they think could be wrong, to my us Israelite men, all right, you held to a degree of scrutiny that is like none other, man. He's a womanizer, and like they like to use this new speech. He's a misogynist. You know, I mean, oh, you hate women? No, that's crazy, man. That's ridiculous, you know. But so be it. Continuing on, let's go to the book of Isaiah, the third chapter. It was crazy how man, women are just man. Anyways, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16, it says, Moreover, Yahweh said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, yeah, the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and one-time eyes, walking and missing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. You know, you look at the women of Israel today, so-called black women, even the so-called Latin women, and some of you so-called Native women, which are you are the daughters of Zion, right? When you look at it, because it starts with the women of Judah on down, because Judah is the lead tribe, and so the lead tribe women to be the women of Judah, so-called black women, right? When you look at it, they set the trend for the rest of the tribes, and that's why I named all three categories, so to speak, so you can understand. They all have this haughtiness and one-time eyes when you see them, man. Got all these different, um, all this fake beauty they put up on themselves, everything just to get attention from men outside of their men or their men. And that's our women for you, you know. This is one ton on the online etymology dictionary. It says resistant to control, willful, yeah. Well, resistance to control. They don't want to be led, and you got and you men out there, you have to lead these women, man. You have to guide their minds, because if you let them do it on their own, they're gonna self-destruct. And if you have children with these women, they're gonna destroy the family. I've never been led by a woman, but because the society teaches women how to behave, and then when they do shit, they still break down the family. I've been with a woman that broke down the family. I've been through it, so I can speak from personal experience. Do you think we're still together? Do you think the child we had um, is still, filling that two-parent household? Do you think he's no? Do you think my child is stable mentally and emotionally? Well, somewhat, because I have to do extra or over the mile type of activity with him. I had to go get him. I had to see where he's at mentally. Cause I ain't gonna lie, man. For a couple years, man, he was, acting emotionally. He was acting out because he couldn't be around me. And I'm speaking to my son, but because of his mother's behavior and what she had done, it broke down the family. So I spent as much time with him as I possibly can. And it was luckily that I was in his life from day one. All right, that he still have respect for me, and he listened to me, and he's still disciplined like I was training him to be anyway, and I continue that discipline on him. But a lot of you women out there are one ton. You like to look. You like the thought of being admired or wanted by another man, and that's wickedness, man. You're not shamefaced. You're supposed to be shamefaced. You know. You're all one ton. Was that it on that? It says one. It says wanting, lacking, deficient. Um, One who is ill behaved, lascivious, lewd person. Yeah, man. to reveal, frolic unrestrainedly, and you don't have any kind of restraint, man. You see another man that may look more handsome than your man, you want to lay with him, carnally, man. So you are a one ton, and that's most of our women, man. To keep it generous, that's a lot of our women. Period. All the tribes, starting with the so-called Negro tribes, on down to so-called Latin tribes and so-called Native tribes. Verse 17, and it says, "Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, will discover their secret parts. And that day the Lord will take away the bravery. I'm sorry. And that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon." And it goes into you read on down. It goes into the different jewelry and apparel they would wear, um, and especially you so-called black women, man. You women of Judah, man. This, whew, oh man, the least wanted on earth, man. The women of Judah, man. The least wanted on earth, man. The so-called black woman is the least wanted woman on earth by far. And I wonder why that is. Verse 24. "And it should come to pass that instead of sweet smell there should be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty." Yeah, man, they don't smell sweet no more. The vagina smells stink from all the semen they're taking in, man. You're not designed to take in all that semen from different men. A lot of you so-called black women are bald head for a reason, man. That's a curse, man. And when men look at you, they don't see beauty. They see a wild, beast-like woman, man. Even your own men, the men of Judah, they look at you just the same, man. Like a wild, beast-like woman. All right. So that's something to think about. All right, but I just wanted to make that point, man, because if you want to be treated as a woman, you must act as a woman. And the word woman means female servant. You have to learn how to serve your man to get him to incorporate you into his life. That way he can have children or put his seed in you, and you can he can incorporate you, I'm sorry, into the family as he see fits, as far as you guiding the house, being a joyful mother of children, being loyal and submissive to him. That's the way you're supposed to be, all right? And because you're not, the curses have even been hard upon you, especially the so-called black women, man. You know, and they send a bad trend for the rest of the tribes, man. All right, you know, Miss Independent is not good. All right, Miss Independent messes up women's head because they gonna think men ain't shit when it's really you ain't do right by your own self. You know, you wasn't willing to be submissive and ladylike and delicate so that a man can find you and see something's good about you. You know how to cook and clean, and say, hey, you know what, I need her, I'm gonna keep her around. So it's your own fault. But anyways, with that, my break is over. Lord willing, you were edified. Until next time, I say shalom.